Why form perceivers usually write in plain language. Form perception tends to come with a preference for plain English. People who write in mysticism language, or therapy language, or any credentialed language sometimes act like the plain version is shallow. It's the opposite. The plain version is harder. If a perception can be described in language anyone can check, that's how it stops being phony. Specialized vocabulary makes a perception sound impressive to people inside the dialect and sound stupid to anyone outside it. Plain language makes it legible to both. The point of explanation is for someone to understand. If the explanation doesn't accomplish that, the explanation failed regardless of how sophisticated it sounded. This is also why form perceivers sometimes get a strange reaction in rooms where the specialized dialect is the currency. If they can say in plain English what the room normally says in obscure language, the obscurity loses value. That's threatening to the room. It's not personal, it's structural. What containers let form perception operate at full power? Form perception runs best in environments that are structurally safe without being suffocating. Structurally safe means the perceiver's process is not under attack. They're not being constantly corrected, redirected, or graded against a path they're not on. Whatever method they use to arrive at the answer is permitted to be different from the standard method. The work itself is the deliverable, not the process. Without being suffocating means no one is hovering, watching, validating, or asking what's being done while it's being done. Suffocation in creative or analytical environments isn't usually hostile, it's usually over-attention. Constant check-ins, well-intended encouragement, suggestions for adjustment, all of it interrupts the process, even when the intent is supportive. The form perceiver needs to externalize the work only after it's finished, not during. Most environments give one or the other. Pre-vouched but watched produces stilted work. Absented but suspect produces work made under defensive pressure. Both at once, structurally safe and absented, is rare. When the configuration is right, the instrument runs at full power, and the work that comes out is qualitatively different from what comes out under standard conditions. What form perception means practically, form perceivers don't find their professional match in domain experts. They operate one level above the level most professionals operate at, which is why they keep arriving at conclusions first. The people who recognize what they're doing are other form perceivers, scattered across every industry. Some end up as artists, some as therapists, some run companies, some end up in spiritual lineages, some end up doing something nobody has a name for yet. Form perceivers don't have a degree, there's no school for it. The credentialing systems most fields use are built around domain mastery, not form mastery. Form mastery can only be demonstrated by producing work, by reading situations correctly across many situations, by being right enough times that the pattern becomes visible to others. That takes time and doesn't generate income directly. It generates a body of work and a reputation among people who can recognize what they're looking at. The hardest part of having this wiring is that most rooms aren't built for it. Most environments expect competence to be demonstrated by knowing the local vocabulary, following the local protocol, and arriving at conclusions in the locally approved way. Form perceivers who skip ahead by sight create discomfort in rooms that don't have a category for what's happening. The room sometimes celebrates them. More often, it suspects them. Sometimes it reorganizes around them to neutralize what they can see. The work for the form perceiver is finding or building the kind of container that lets the perception operate without friction. That's not a credential, it's an arrangement of conditions. Once the conditions are right, the work that's possible inside them is real.